What is up, guys? Welcome to the ultimate back workout. I'm gonna push you guys through a back routine that you can always come back to if you're looking for exercises to build your back. These are the perfect exercises. Okay, so go ahead, save this video, lock it in. Let's go ahead and start off with our upper body warm-up. Remember, I always use my pull-up band. Highly recommend that you have one. Okay, so just a 60-second warm-up is all we need. So let's go. First exercise, we're starting off with our deadlifts. I like to start off my lifts with my compound. I've said it many times. I highly recommend that you start off your training with your compound movements because they require the most strength to perform. Also, do not confuse the variations of deadlifts. There's so many different variations. So we have our RDLs, we have our stiff leg deadlifts, we have the conventional deadlifts that we're about to do. And these are the deadlifts that we usually do on back day because it strengthens your lower back. So when you are performing a deadlift, your feet should be slightly shoulder width apart. On your barbell, you're gonna have about 2 lines here. So you wanna bring your feet in until it's parallel, and you're going to grab, for me personally, I like to have a reverse grip. Now, your grip is all depending on you and what your preference is and what is most comfortable for you. So I like to have one hand reversed and one hand inwards. This is what's most comfortable for me. You are going to squat or sit into your movement. Don't just think about grabbing the weights from this point. You're gonna put a lot of weight in your lower back, which is what you wanna avoid. Protect your back at all costs. So you sit into the movement, grab the weight, and this is your starting point. So when you're going down, you are sitting into the movement, you drop it, and then pull it back up. So let's do this for 10 reps. I forgot to mention another form tip. When you're performing this exercise, I see a lot of people get it wrong. So when you're pulling your weights, your arm remains straight. So you're not bringing the weight up. I see a lot of people do this, where they pull the weight up and then they kind of shrug their shoulders or they bend their elbows. Don't do that. Keep your arms straight when you're going down and when you're coming up. You see what I mean by it requires the most strength to lift? I have to catch my breath when I'm done doing the deadlift. So let's move on. The lat pull down. First things first, when you're doing this exercise, always make sure that your pad is firm and secure. This avoids you from rocking back and forth when you're actually performing the exercise. So always make sure that you set this to a good enough height where you are locked in and secure. When it comes to your grips, I want you to avoid gripping the bar with your fingers, all right? So avoid this. This is a very lazy way to grip your bar, and you want to leave your thumb out of it as well. What you want to do is place the bar about above your thumb right there, and you're going to grip it really tight, really firm. And also remember that your hand placement determines how you target your back. So obviously, the wider your grip, you're gonna be targeting you're gonna have a wider range of motion, and the closer your grip, you're gonna have a more narrow range of motion, all right? So today, I'm gonna do a neutral grip right here. I've already set my weights to about 15 kg. I'm starting off light. So when you are performing this exercise, pay attention. You are not just pulling the bar down. All right, when you do this, your biceps are working here, and your biceps should not be the primary muscle working. You are working your lats. So your lats should be the primary muscle doing the job here, because when you do this, your back doesn't know what it's doing at this point. So what you want to do instead is give a slight lean back slightly, not too much, all right? Just a slight lean, and then you are pulling. You're gonna feel it in your lats. And I want you to squeeze your lats when you get to this point. And when you bring it up, move slowly up with your weights and stop about this point. So you're giving a slight bend in your elbow as opposed to locking your elbows out. So slightly bend, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and do 10 reps. Let's move on to the next exercise. We are doing a machine back row. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this weight. I'm gonna start off with about 15 kg. I personally like to leave a slight bend in my knee as opposed to having my knees lock out. This is a rowing movement, so the motion should be as if you're rowing, and I like to move with the weight, okay? So I move forward slightly and then I pull back. So I'm doing 10 reps of this exercise. When you're doing this exercise, have your chest out as opposed to slouching. When you have your chest out, it kind of just automatically engages your lats, as opposed to when you're hovering like this and you're slouching and then you're just pulling the weight towards you. So chest out and pull. Now we're gonna move on to the next exercise, which is a single arm dumbbell row with our bench, all right? So let's go. There's a reason why they call this exercise a row. You are rowing. So I want you to think about moving your arm from a negative to a positive. When you grab your weights, avoid hitting your weights on the ground when you go down, okay? Avoid twisting your torso, your upper body away. Avoid moving the weights away from your body. And lastly, don't just think about pulling the weight up, okay? You're not pulling. Remember, this is not a bicep movement. Your bicep should be a secondary muscle working here. You're working your lats, you're working your back. So we're gonna do 10 reps for each side. All right, so I got my pull-ups, and you already know what that means. So we're about to do pull-ups. I like to use my band. You can do this exercise assisted or non-assisted. So I'm doing assisted pull-ups. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure this band right here. And all you have to do is just loop your band over the bar. And that's it. I'm also gonna go ahead and put on my gloves. I always like to protect my hands when I'm doing any pull movement. So these gloves are from Prozis. I will leave the link down below for you guys to get these. I personally love this type of gloves. It's easy, it's firm, and it's airy as well. And now, if you've never done an assisted pull-up with a band before, all you have to do is pull your band down as hard as you can. And don't be scared of it snapping, because it's a pull-up band. It's doing what it's meant to do. We're gonna grip the bar right here. So not too wide, a neutral grip. And again, It all depends on what your preference is or how you want to target. So you can have a reverse grip. When you have a reverse grip, your biceps is going to be doing a lot of the work here as well. I like to do a neutral grip. We're going to aim to do 10 reps here. So let's go. We did it. All right. So the next exercise we're doing is a kneeling cable back row using this arm. What is this thing called? We don't know. This is the grip that we're using. The arm that I'm working, I like to have the opposite leg on the ground. So if I'm gonna start with my left, I'm gonna have my right leg on the ground, and just like that. The trick with this exercise is I want you to take a few steps away from the cable machine, and you're going to go down. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the next workout, which is a cable back extension. So we're gonna move over there. So with this exercise, you take a few steps, about 3 or 4 steps away from your cable, and then you're going to lean over slightly, and then bring, with a straight arm, bring the bar down to about mid-thigh, and then release. So make sure that you always keep your arm straight, a straight arm going up on the positive, and you want to maintain that straight arm coming down on the negative. So we're going to do 10 reps of this. And that is it for today's video, you guys. All of the workouts plus more are available on my SoFit app. If you do need more structured workout programs with training splits and meal guides, then check out my website for all my 4-week programs. The links for these will be in my description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.